We should do a Patreon. One of those things
You
that
really
people
should.
donate
What is
stuff.
that?
It's like a donation thing.
Or a Substack.
Right.
Or
Never
what
heard
are they
these
called?
things.
There's another one that's My Fans or Only Fans or something. I don't know. There's a woman that
I thought that was for
follow.
something else.
I heard that
know.
was for something else too.
Oh, is it? I've never been on it. I don't know.
I should do it.
Oh, is it inappropriate?
Yeah,
Is it?
kind of.
Hey, listen.
Okay, never mind. Hey, their opinions don't pay
Gotta
the
do
bills.
what you gotta
Their
do.
opinions don't pay the bills.
If I feel like I should do fans only, then I do.
Oh no. Okay.
Anyways.
Rewind.
Not just decoration. We are transformation. In the beginning was a garden.
This is Garden Studios. Welcome home.
No, that's great. So here we go. Let's. I'm just gonna introduce you real quick. Okay. So
Just edit that out.
no, that's great.
I don't have no
This is Garden Studios.
So welcome to another episode of Garden Studios podcast. Today we have an amazing guest. So before I say her name, let me say a few things about her.
Aw.
I don't know how she does the things that she does.
Yeah.
She is she has 4 boys. Is that right?
Yeah.
4 boys. She runs a business, and she has to, single mom, having to pay all the bills, having to go to school,
And paying for their school too.
paying for their school, making dinner, while at the same time creating community. She's part of like book clubs. It's so crazy. She has the highest capacity of a person that I've ever met, and so we're gonna have her on today just to talk about that. I admired her since we've met her, since I knew a little bit about what she does. She's an artist, and I think she's incredible. So without further ado, let's put our hands together for Shanna Torres.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shanna, for coming.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So
So excited to be here.
We've been trying to do this for the past. I think we told you to swing through like sometime last month, right?
Yeah, last month.
I don't remember. But
yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So, the capacity thing, that's something that I've been wanting to learn about because I it's a mystery to me, and I don't know how you juggle all the things that you juggle. But before we get to that, there's this game that we play
Okay.
in our podcast,
Okay.
and it's called Word of the Day,
Okay.
and it's super simple. So the word of the day is different every episode, and we choose a word that nobody ever uses in the English dictionary.
Okay.
And the point of the game is whoever says it first somewhere in the
Oh,
podcast
this is great.
wins.
What do we win?
You win.
Just a bragging right. You.
Yeah,
got
it's a
it.
bragging right.
Okay.
It's
$100.
right. You win. We start OnlyFans.
A Hall of Fame.
Right. My OnlyFans will go to your tuition for next year.
Okay, great.
So that's what's gonna happen.
I'm like the Gifts Love Language Plus competitive. I'm like, well, what's the price? What is it? Okay, never mind.
And so now you can't just blurt it out,
Of course.
because if you just say it out, the other people can be like that they can veto it and just like, no, that doesn't count.
Yes.
And so you're gonna have to make it natural, make it
Okay.
organic,
What
make
is
it
the
good.
definition of pettifogger?
So the word of the day is, we doing a clap, okay? Pettifoggery.
Pettifoggery.
Pettifoggery. So pettifoggery, it's a noun, and it means a trivial quarrel. So let's say Mattel and I argue about whether waffles or pancakes are better. That's a pettifoggery, because it doesn't matter. It's
Yeah.
petty.
It's very trivial.
It's trivial. Okay. So that's now activated. So whoever gets that first wins. Okay. So that's on the side there. So for our first segment, we want to do an art spotlight.
Okay.
So we'll talk about someone's art and who they are and what they do. And I thought it'd be so cool to talk about Shanna's tie-dye.
Okay.
So here's some images. It's not here, so you have to imagine it, but it's there. And what about this one? And what about that one, baby?
This one.
That one right there.
Wow.
There you go. We're gonna edit it. It's gonna be there.
We're gonna add
I'm like,
pictures of
I
your
am
tie
so
dye.
out of. I'm like, I'm so playing along. I don't know, but sure.
So Shanna, tell us
we're gonna
about
put
your
yours.
tie dyeing. So
And is this
I
one of
did
yours?
make this.
Come on.
But this is actually from the Gap, and I bought it white.
Gotcha.
And then dyed it
Oh, wow.
for first year. I used to wear it in first year.
Wow.
And then I was going to sell it at a yard sale.
Wow.
And then I was like, what am I doing?
You like it.
And I
so.
pulled it off the rack and wore it today.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
cool, isn't it?
I love it.
Yeah.
So tell us about your business. How long have you been doing it? What got you into tie-dyeing?
Well, honestly, I mean, I think it's the Lord because I've had first of all, it's tie-dye. It's kind of random, but everybody really loves tie-dye, kind of, and if you don't, you're just not my people, I think. Like, that's the only people.
It got more popular.
With
like,
COVID.
yeah, like it just like there
I
was
was
like
made, I was like,
lot
this
of
is
people.
my lifestyle. Like, I was
Right.
made for that season, But I have been doing it since high school. I've been doing it for over 20 years.
wow.
And just thinking about it, I think my obsession with it is like, again, the gifts, love, language thing where it's a surprise. So you can control it. I mean, there are certain designs that I can replicate and I know how to bind the fabric and make it. But there's really nuances to the dye quantity to water ratio. Like there's so many factors.
Wow.
So on rinse out day, it's like Christmas morning. It's kind of always a surprise. And I just love the color flow, which is why I like more fluid acrylic painting. I was obsessed with ceramics, still am, and really did just crystal tone glazes with the flow. But I just love the color flow.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So where can our viewers check out and buy some of your pieces?
So I have an Etsy shop. I don't have a lot of my, the Lord just kind of sends me things for people to do custom work for. But there's many facets to it. The Etsy shop is just kind of more of my holiday and seasonal and the basic stuff.
So
could add the link here.
What's your
Yeah.
Etsy handle?
So it's just you can't have an apostrophe,
Gotcha.
even on Instagram. So
Right.
it's ShannasTieDye.
Gotcha.
like
It'll
all
be
one
right
word.
here, guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you can reach out to me, I've partnered with a lot of different artisans through collaborations. But
Right.
you can message me on Instagram, of
Right.
course on Etsy.
One of our biggest coffee shops in town, Theory Coffee, has merch made by
Yeah,
you.
I did do some stuff for them specifically for their new shop when they opened up the second store.
Yeah. Wow.
And then you could don't you sometimes show up at Sketch and Press?
Oh yeah, so I do have locally. I am in Evergreen Coffee Shop.
Wow.
I made some very limited, very light colored bandanas and some socks that are in the Evergreen Sketch and Press. I'm in Enjoy the Store as well, and then Organic Pilates also has some of my stuff as
Wow.
well. Yeah.
Now, if you're a viewer and you're maybe from India or Canada, you might, or even outside of Reading, you might not know these stores, but these stores are super well known in
They're
town.
fun. Yeah, I love
Theory, Evergreen, Sketch and these are the cool stores to be in, and Shanna's in all of them, and that's amazing. Before we get to
It's been a blessing. I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like in every event that they have when they have those outdoor events, eh?
Well, not everyone. Oh, and the Makery. I
Right.
love that place.
That's the one. Yeah.
So I'm not in Abode because it's more of I love that place, but it's newer stuff. I don't think they do local artisans as much
It's more
for
like-
sale, but they facilitate the whole community here. I
Yeah.
love the Makery. So my favorite thing is to do their pop up. The Makers Market. So if you've never been to that and you're local, it is so fun. And also the Bethel Bazaar.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yes.
last year I could only, to talk about capacity, part of growing your capacity is kind of knowing a seasonal. Capacities can always be different in seasons. And I'd committed to do, I really wanted to be at the Makery. And then I was like, wow, I really can't do it this year.
Yeah.
And so I only did one pop-up, and it was the Bethel Bazaar last year.
Gotcha.
During the school season.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Because you don't know till you know, kind of, and yeah.
Wow.
But I look forward. I'm taking a gap year, I think, this year,
Gotcha.
and just being more involved in more of the local artist pop-up scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Before we go into our next segment, I just want to start off with a quote. Okay.
This is so fun.
So this quote is by Henry Ford,
Okay.
and it says, "There's no man living who isn't capable of doing more than he thinks he can
Yes.
do." And yeah, I mean that quote is. I think he wrote that about you. because you do so many things.
Yeah.
How did you? Is this like, is multitasking and having a high capacity and being able to have the grace to do so many things at the same time, is that something that you've always had, or is that something you've had to grow in and kind of cultivate
Both.
in your life?
Both.
Yeah, tell us about that.
I like, as far as, and I don't die on personality traits and the Enneagrams and all of that stuff, but it is insightful and cool to know about. I'm definitely an extrovert, you know, to the extreme, which is very helpful in not being drained by social interactions. But that, like, for example, his quote, it's totally true. I relate to that. And, you know, I've always been able to do a lot and manage a lot. And then I've also, you know, prayed and been like, I'll just be vulnerable and truthful here. I remember, I love kids. Like, you guys know how much I love my own kids, and I really make other people's, like, adults and their children feel welcome. And it really means a lot to me to do that. But I noticed, and I was going through a little, like, I was going through a lot at that time. So I was like, well, I'm basically at church in Carmel, in the children's church. And I realized that I was kind of like, oh, this kid's got a snotty nose. It's touching me. And then I was like, ugh. Like, you know, I just kind of, it was like the Lord was kind of like, you know, you're not loving that kid like the way you love your own, even close. Like, you know, you can't always love everybody's kids, maybe. I mean, my mentor mom, Lori Davidson, does. And I do have a mentor that has a capacity that is unmatched from anyone that I've ever seen. And that's helpful to have that type of mentor. You know, what's important to that person kind of bleeds into, like, what's important to you. But I literally was just like, I asked the Holy Spirit to help me. It can be as simple as that. Before you need help, ask the helper. So I was like, and also with orphans, I was like, I don't want to say I don't care, but this was like years ago. I was like, I don't really think I care about orphans. Like, I mean, it sounds terrible to say it out loud, but that can be the truth, you know, like, you're not acting as you care. And I was like, I need an increased capacity I just need an increased capacity to, like, love people's children and orphans or whatever, you know, like, whatever, insert your calling or what you kind of have a heart for, or an area. Ask the Lord, like, where am I? You know, just be teachable. Take a moment, be self-aware enough to go, hey, I don't want this kid, like, snotty-nosed kid, like, ugh, or God, I would have vomited on me or something, right?
By the way, I was that kid growing up. I was the sweaty kid, though.
I was the kid that needed the hug and the love as well, which is why I was kind of heart-checked.
Right.
Like, what are you really doing? Self-righteous? Like, who cares, like, if you get a stomach bug from someone's kid or something, you know? I'm like, and I'm like, my mentor mom, I had viral meningitis once. Whoa. She'll come up in there and Lori would hold my hand. Huh. And I'm like, what are you doing? So, like, I literally, you know, don't be, like, crazy. I mean, it's whatever your level of faith is, I guess, you know. But I was like, it has been my prayer all of second year. I would pray for people to have an increased capacity, you know, and a fresh wind. Like, you know, because your reality is what you think it is.
Right.
And so sometimes you've got to grow that muscle by just doing things that are uncomfortable or growing you in a capacity. And you can also just genuinely ask and be transparent with yourself or get feedback from someone that you care about and trust, or be like, yeah, dude, like, you could be doing this or that, you know.
How old are your kids again?
Well, I should say, too, so right away I had an increased capacity to love people's kids and snotty noses and all. So, like, you know, it was quick, and it was like a repentful moment, and then, like, and done. Yeah. And then I do like declarations. I do, like, I always say I have a very high capacity. So I just don't say I don't.
Right.
You know, but I should say, like, guys, don't kill yourselves out here. Like, you know, taking, you know, you just got to be teachable, and the Holy Spirit will lead you in what real rest is, managing distractions. Right. You know, if you really think you don't have a capacity, look at what you're really using your time on. Yeah. You know, I've thought that I've been tapped, and I've just spent my free time on Instagram. And I'm like, well, sorry, like, I don't have capacity for y'all right now, because I'm, like, all, you know, exhausted from just reading, you know, anything that really isn't important to you and your core people,
For sure.
Yeah.
Um,
But the boys are 9,
9. Okay.
11, 13, and 19.
19. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, just in a practical level, how do you schedule out your week, knowing that you have all these boys? And by the way, they're very adventurous.
Yeah. Well,
And-
again, thank God. Listen,
They get it from you.
100%.
Yeah.
I was worse as a kid.
Yeah,
Like I was a tomboy to the extreme, and I was like wild. Like all 4 of my boys on their worst moment of their life was like I was just really adventurous, high capacity, high energy, person.
Right.
Yeah.
Every time I come over, they're digging something.
Yeah.
They're building something.
Yeah.
They're
Playing, like,
running around the house.
They're
Then
doing
the swords
art,
and everything.
cooking, like they.
Right. It feels like there's more than 4 because
Also, like
they're-
other kids come and play.
Oh
too,
yeah,
so
there's
it's like-
always kids over.
Neighbor- yeah.
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 I mean, I joke that it's a day camp. On Wednesday, I think I'm taking 4 or 5 more kids with us to the to the pool.
Wow.
But I love it. I do love it.
How do you because watching you and you're doing all these things and you're doing an amazing job.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you also have this joy about you.
Yeah.
How do you keep your sanity and more than that, how do you cultivate joy
Yeah.
in the midst of because I get overwhelmed really easily
Yeah.
and very quickly I lose my joy. How do you maintain all that and then at the same time cultivate joy?
Well, you've been at the house. We have like a blessings board that you can see above our dining room. That's a practical thing. Mindsets help, but I'll just be vulnerable again. When I found out some really bad news years ago, I remember I just started bawling. But like in that moment, it's kind of like what Bill shared about today. Like you have these moments that like you can that don't waste your moments of hardness or you know what I'm talking about, like to articulate it better. And if you can watch that today, I highly recommend watching that. But I found out some stuff, undeniable, like terrible news. And I remember just like bawling, I'm shaking, I'm just like, but somehow like in my spirit, I cried out. Like I literally said these words and it was like, do not let this make me bitter. And I have literally fought for a tenderness of heart because, forgiveness is one thing, but allowing events to like still keep you embittered, it's still like this loss of you, to an event that was outside of your control, And so the Lord has been so faithful in that. And I have fought the fight for that as well. And that can look like, why am I having this thought again? I've forgiven this person and having grace for myself to walk through hard things. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for
But
sure.
like, again, just a cry, like the Lord has preserved that for me. Yeah.
Wow.
It's kind of like when Chris, most of these people don't know who we're talking about, when he shares like the statistics of fatherlessness from the stage, or even about how a lot of women are that have been, that are single moms or whatever. And I just don't relate for that, like in the regards, I have great empathy, for people, in that situation. But it's not been statistically me or my sons. And a lot of that has been because I've cultivated an honor, healthy boundaries, and cultivating to not become embittered.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Like for me, in order for my capacity to grow, some things had to have been pruned, some cut off.
Oh, totally.
For me, it was my Xbox.
Absolutely. I highly recommend any grown-up man listening to this to get rid of all video games.
Oh, okay, wait, listen.
No, sorry.
Wait,
And the sponsor is Xbox.
Can I
not
just
a
advocate
commercial.
for all the men out there? Men, listen. Adventure. We find adventure sometimes in video games. I haven't played Xbox in like a year and a
He
half.
literally would tell me, like, when he's playing Xbox, like, I asked him to do something. He's like, I'm in war right now. I was like,
Okay,
you are
can
not
I just
in
say
war.
something?
He literally would be like, he's
call in the
actually-
marriage therapist.
Have
We've
you
started
seen?
something.
So
I don't want to start this
just shut up.
pettifoggery.
Just
Oh! She wins, and it's done. Like, it's done.
can I speak now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I?
Feel
Okay.
free. Feel free.
first, congratulations on winning Word of the Day. I think it might be your first time winning.
Is it?
No, it was my second time.
Oh.
The first one, it was like.
Well,
we're trying to figure it out.
anyways.
You did it this time, though.
Anyways,
Yeah, I did not.
congratulations. Second
Thank
of all,
you.
back to Xbox. It's a lifestyle, and I have a very obsessive personality.
It's totally. It's about like I know for me personally.
Uh-huh.
So I just finished Atomic Habits.
Okay.
Oh, dude.
Check it. Okay.
Listen.
We're actually gonna give a shout out to Atomic Habits.
Okay, listen
in a
up
second.
right now,
Go for it.
everybody. Like and so I know this is kind of a Christian podcast, but there
Right.
is a book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Blank.
It's not giving
An
up.
F.
Yeah. Have
What's
you
a
heard
F?
of it?
Not
Yes.
giving a
And it kind of
fiddle.
a fiddle.
A fiddle.
Yeah. And it talks about how you get pulled in so many different directions and you give all your fiddles away. And you have no fiddle to give to anything that really matters.
Then you can't play country.
You know, and it's kind of the same thing with capacity. You know, like I guarantee you, we all have. It's like the quote. You have more capacity than you think you have, but there's so much stuff vying. And like I do love social media, but I know for me personally, I can easily be like, "Whoa, I just got very distracted on there," and so, you know. So the boys, my sons, are actually listening to one chapter of Atomic Habits every night.
That's great. It's a great book.
And they've decided they only play 1 hour of video games a week.
Yeah.
I was bad.
Yeah,
when
it
I was
can be. You don't realize it's made. It's literally made though to prey upon the way that you're made as humans,
Right.
and keep you engaged.
How old is Tino?
Tino's 19. He'll be
Okay.
20 in December.
So when I was 19, I was playing video games from 7 in the morning
Yeah,
until maybe 2 in the morning.
yeah,
And I would only take breaks to use the restroom
Yeah.
because I would eat as I play.
it's like some World of Warcraft level.
Oh
people.
yeah, I was into shooter games.
Yeah,
And I'm very competitive, and if I'm into something, I'm either all in or all out.
yeah.
And so someone's phone is going off.
Just
And so yeah, it was very obsessive for me. And I noticed after I sold my Xbox, that's when all the garden stuff, what we're doing here.
Oh, totally. So here's the thing.
That's where it all happened.
Years ago, I listened to a guy that talked about how video games, especially for males, there's a thing about them that takes away a man's innate desire to pursue, protect, and provide. So in a video game, that's all included, to where you're pursuing something, you're protecting something. Like there's a reward there, but you
Right.
never are actually, like men are made to do those things.
Right.
And there's something in video games that kind of fulfills as a false.
like it's been fulfilled.
Yeah, and so it's kind of like women in Pinterest, or for me personally, I don't even get on there anymore because I'd be like, oh, I'm going to make this cake for my family, but you don't
Right.
make it, but you feel like you're doing something productive for your family because you're cultivating and creating something, but you may not actually be cultivating and creating anything.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Real quick, because we got 2 phone calls. I'm gonna check if this recording cut out.
I put it on airplane mode.
No, your phone is it? Okay, great.
Yeah.
So let's keep on going then.
Okay.
Your mom is calling me through the the laptop. She's probably listening. Please stop calling us. Gosh.
You're gonna watch this on Wednesday.
Her mom watches every episode. It's
Oh
so
my
funny.
God.
And her
My
dad.
parents always watching it.
Since we're on the subject already, we're gonna give a resource, and the resource was Atomic Habits
No way. I'm
by
literally obsessed.
James Clear.
Yeah.
And so Atomic Habit, it's I'm actually listening to the audiobook right now.
I just finished it and restarted it right
Uh-huh.
away.
Yeah.
It has been,
The audiobook you're doing?
yes, I'm just going to keep doing it.
And I love how they talk about the science neurologically of the different chemicals that go through your brain, how you can bundle things together.
Habit stacking.
If you stacking,
It's
right.
amazing.
If you're doing something difficult, stack it with something that's
Fun,
pleasurable so that
yeah.
you can have dopamine, so that you look forward to doing things instead of just hating everything
or
that
the
you
2-minute rule.
Right.
Of like to help with, and just faithfully, in our culture, again, it's a distraction. All in, you've got to be perfect, perfectionism versus, do we only have 4 minutes left?
No, we're good,
I was
we're
like,
good,
wow,
we're good.
this went fast.
Yeah, they go really quick.
Yeah.
But like, I love how he talked about like, you can do anything for 2 minutes. And that helps like with the procrastination rule, but habit
Right.
stacking, for example, 2 things that I've done. Cause like I literally, would be in awe of people that can keep like I love to clean and can make things very clean.
Right.
But it was like the drudgery of always cleaning. You know, it's like, how do you enjoy your home or your children if you're always cleaning? And so it was just kind of like averse to it. Like, you know, we just do one deep clean a day and then it just gets trashed and we start over tomorrow. And then of course some people, you know, have the capacities to wake up before their kids get up or stay up after they're in bed. And genuinely over the years, I was like, I really wanted tonight's the night I'm going to stay up and clean. And I mean, as a single mom, I needed to get in the bed. But let me just say, I have habit stacked wiping down my bathroom counter, like a reset of the bathroom every time I brush my teeth. And my bathroom has been spotless for 2 weeks.
Wow.
I'm literally
Four
like,
boys.
what the heck? And then, so you always brush your teeth. So you would stack a habit on that. And so I make my bed. So now I stretch for 5 minutes. I just make my bed and immediately stretch. And that's made all the difference, like in the tightness, like in my like lower back and hip.
Right.
So it's just that simple. And then, yeah, I love it. I love it. And I'm re-listening to it again.
For me,
Is that why we started the thing with when we played a card games, whoever loses?
Yes, that's exactly
So
why.
we started this thing where, so we like to play like Monopoly Deal.
Yeah.
Just like quality time.
Yeah.
But now whoever loses, we have a list of things you can choose, which is like workouts.
Could be like 10 push-ups,
it'd be
25 jumping
push-ups,
jacks.
1 minute plank stick.
Yeah.
So you
Right.
choose that. So it's like, not only are we having fun playing a game, but like you're actually helping your body afterwards, even if you lose, you know.
That's why I implemented
Right.
the stretching, because I was like, not everything needs to be a cleanup or a self-improvement thing of like heart, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's so many things in that book. It's a lot of content. So highly recommend Atomic Habits by James Clear. You could probably get it for like, if you get the audio, I think you get it for free. I got it.
Hey, if it's free, get it. I mean,
I got it for free.
I bought the book and on Audible because there are PDFs and different things. But
Right.
again, that's a tip. You know, you're busy. I've listened to ADHD 2.0,
Okay.
The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fiddle, and the Atomic Habits, and I'm on it again, just like in the last 30 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I used to be like, I'm not wearing headphones,
Right.
but now I put them on and I just do stuff, and it's
Right.
been so nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, before we go into our next segment, we're about to do viewer questions. So,
Okay.
prune what's not needed.
Yeah.
Maintain your joy, right?
Also knowing what season you're in.
Yeah, talk about
Absolutely.
that real quick.
Like, so like what you were mentioning, I feel like in different seasons of your life you have different capacities, and don't be so hard on yourself.
Absolutely.
Let's say last season you were able to do like these 10 things and you were like thriving, and now you could barely make out to 2 of those things and you're struggling. It's just knowing where you are in that part of your life and what season, and giving yourself grace to know. But yeah.
Amen.
And that's why the
Yeah.
body's so important, because even when, like, if you're doing 10 things last season and now you can't, you know, you've got the body of Christ and you're a good community, hopefully,
Right.
that will kind of pick up slack. And I should also say, you know, guard your own heart of not self-righteous judgment. Because, like, it can be easy to assume that people aren't doing things.
Right.
But, like, there are some people that truly are financiers. You know, if that's, you know, the word, you know, where they steward their wealth. They're blessed financially, and that's what they do. They pay for someone's tuition or things of that nature. And then you have the people that are the ones that are fostering children, you know, or going to a single mom's home to help, or a widow's home. Like, there's just so many different things that you can do. And it can be easy to be like, assume that other people aren't doing as much as you. And that's kind of, it's not a healthy place either.
Right.
For the ones listening that feel like they already have a high capacity, is not assuming that there's people not pulling weight, because a lot of, you know, they are.
Right.
Yeah. But of course we can always do more, you know, if that makes sense. And we're done. Cut.
No, that's
No.
just but for me though, I think keeping the mission and vision in mind also helps a lot. Mission is your why, vision is your how, because mission is like the fuel. Because if you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, like, why am I doing this podcast every week? If you don't know why, you know, why am I going to school? It makes you not want to do it.
Yeah.
And your how is what those things are. Like, let's say a podcast, let's say going to the gym, let's say whatever it may be. And with that being said, we're gonna move on to viewer questions.
Okay.
We did that thing, the anonymous viewer
Mhm.
questions from, it was NGL. Is that
Yeah.
what it is? NGL.
NGL.
Wow, fun.
Right.
Oh, that
So-
thing on Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we got like a few of them here.
Anonymous.
Yeah. So we're just gonna go down
These are gonna
quickly.
be good.
We'll take like 5 seconds
Okay.
each to answer
Do
them,
it.
just so that we can get through all of them.
Okay.
Okay. First one for Shanna. Have you ever seen Breaking Bad?
Yes, I have seen Breaking Bad. I have not watched it in years, but I did watch it the whole season,
Great film.
all of it.
Okay, babe. Have you? I'll say this one for me. Is hot dog a sandwich? Ooh, this is a deep.
Ooh, that's
a lot of
hard.
philosophers have talked about this throughout the
Hot dog
centuries.
a sandwich? You don't really say a hot dog sandwich. Actually, you do. You're like, hey, can I get a hot dog sandwich?
But the bun is not separated. It's connected.
Can
This
be a
is-
sandwich.
So it's more of a taco. It should be. Is hot dog a taco?
No, sometimes,
I say it's a taco.
honestly, those who struggle, no, they use the white bread and use it as a
Right.
bun. So
Okay.
technically, it can be a sandwich.
Sandwich. Okay.
Yes.
Sandwich. For me, have you ever given a hickey?
Oh my god.
Oh, goodness gracious.
I don't think so. Only because I don't think I was doing it right.
Only you'll have to go to his OnlyFans. Only on
Only
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. Okay, that's for my OnlyFans. So subscribe to me. If
Whoever
you,
asked that,
Yeah.
people are bold when
Um,
they're anonymous.
Next one for Shauna. How big of a nerd are you from 1 to 10?
Oh yeah. So here's the thing. I probably more nerdy than most people would think.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love Lord of the Rings, Star Wars. Like I have a sword, 2 swords from Lord of the Rings.
So from 1 to 10, would you go past 10?
No, but I'm probably a 7 or 8, and
7 or 8.
I'm
That's
more
pretty
nerdy
good.
than I look.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Babe,
People are like, you look so nerdy, Shauna.
someone asked who you trying to vote for in 2024.
Oh.
I don't even know who's running. So
Okay, if you had to vote for anyone, it could be, doesn't have to be a politician.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's no comment on that.
Vote for me. Okay, so she's voting for me.
Call
For
for
me,
president.
can we be besties?
Depends who you are.
Sure.
Knock knock. They're at the door.
Is there a last one? Okay.
Is that the real question? There's one. real question.
There's one real question. It says, "I love what you guys are doing here. Where did you guys get the idea or inspiration to
good.
start this?" You want to give them like the quick
Quick.
30-second version?
So this idea came first year where we moved into
First
Reading.
year of BSSM.
First year of BSSM. We've moved into Reading, and I realized that I love plants and I love like coffee. So we thought of doing a coffee shop / plant shop that turned into doing more of having creatives in mind, because Paul's a very creative and so am I. And I feel like we steward that well. So we would just have people come over the house and we would have coffee, and then we would just do like painting and stuff like that. And then it turned into something, it became more than that. So
Right. So it turned
Yeah.
into every week we'd gather people for workshops, and then it turned into this where we're doing podcasts and doing some social media things. And then this coming season, that's going to look a little different again. So yeah, that's our little quick 45 second.
just started with figuring out what our passion was and turned into something bigger.
Yeah.
And took one step at a time. So our capacity at that time was different from our capacity now. So as long as you steward what you have at that moment well, it turns into something more than you could ever expect.
So good.
Amen.
We should tell that I knew you guys we did first year together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shauna and I
Shauna
were
was
all in
in-
the same group.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was first year was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Well, we're
Our
gonna
last segment.
We'll be going to our last segment, which this is the first time we've done this.
Oh.
It's gonna be interesting.
Okay.
So I'm gonna ask, can we do a drum roll, because this is for reals. Okay, keep going. We're gonna do a drum.
Clark Griswold.
We're gonna do a drum roll for 5 minutes straight. Keep going.
You know when he plugs in the
And
lights?
1 minute haiku challenge.
Okay.
So we're gonna
So crazy.
we're gonna write haikus. So for those who aren't cultured, I'm sorry. For those that don't know what haikus
Oh,
are,
there's a pin here. There is a pin here.
haiku is a Japanese poetry type of poetry,
These pins
and
are
it consists of 5 syllables for the first line, 7 syllables for the next line, and for the last line another 5 syllables. So we're gonna set a timer. I'm gonna set a timer on my iPad.
For 1 minute.
5 words, 7 words, 5 words, 5 words.
5 syllables, 7 syllables.
You mean like Shanna?
It's 2 syllables.
Oh my
And
gosh, you guys.
we're gonna choose out of a hat what we're gonna write about. So for Shanna, you'll be writing about
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, if you're listening, I love you.
Yeah, we
I've
do
had
love
a man
Johnny Depp.
crush on you since I was a fetus. Okay, and then your
Oh, we're all
turn.
writing different things.
Different things. Alopecia.
Alopecia.
Beautiful. And then for me, my favorite, furries.
Furries.
Do you know what furries are?
No.
Me neither. Okay,
Okay.
here we go.
Dust bunnies.
Ready.
Oh my god,
Set.
I have no idea.
Go.
Okay. Oh. You guys do this all the time. It's like
Every week.
every day.
Every-
Okay.
Oh, we ran
Are
out.
we done? Oh,
We're done. 1 minute. Okay.
Did everyone finish?
I
Yes.
didn't finish.
You didn't finish. Okay, let's
A little pressure.
let's
Higher
let's put up
stakes.
another 20 seconds. Ready?
Okay, go.
Set, go. 'Cause I didn't finish either. I did mine in Japanese, by the way. That's why it took so long.
Okay.
Okay. And do we have anyone that? Okay, babe, you finished first, right?
Yeah.
So what did you write yours
Yours
about?
is great. I can tell already.
Alopecia.
Alopecia. So alopecia is it's a condition, and it's not a joke, guys.
Yeah.
Thousands of people suffer from alopecia. One being the the advocate, Jaden Smith.
No.
Oh,
Jada Pinkett Smith.
Jada
Jada
Pinkett Smith.
Yeah.
We don't like to talk about her because her husband gets angry. So we're just gonna
There's
move
no
on.
judgment on people who have alopecia.
It's-
So this was
right.
just a prompt disclaimer.
Yeah.
We have nothing against people who have
So-
alopecia.
So let's hear it.
But I wrote
Mhm.
alopecia. That's 5. I don't want that at all. Wait, I don't want that at all, man.
Wait.
It's only 6.
Okay,
I got a 7.
Okay.
And then the last part. So I say no way. That's 5.
Okay.
Okay, I gotta fix
It was almost a haiku. One
almost a
syllable away.
haiku. Close enough.
Okay.
I thought it was 5.
Oh, I guess I do.
Yeah, 5,
I do
5,
not
7, 5.
want that
Oh,
at
oops.
all.
Yeah, that's all right. If you did another line, that's
Am
your
I
own
reading it?
version. Yes.
Okay.
So what did you do yours about?
Johnny Depp.
Mm.
Johnny, so glad you are with your million alpacs. Fun to be free and wild and happy. Wow.
Wow.
Because you know the joke.
Come
Remember
on.
how he said he wouldn't work for the Pirates of the
Right.
Caribbean for a million alpacas?
Right.
And like $1 billion or something?
No, for sure. Yeah, which he's crazy because I would
It's
I
so
would totally
funny.
do it.
So funny.
I like how you merged very creative. You merged one sentence into the different lines. I like that.
Okay, I didn't know the rules.
No,
No,
that's
it works.
that. I don't
Listen, the thing with
I don't-
poetry, you could do whatever you want.
There's no rules, girl.
Yeah.
Great.
I like that. Furries. Shout out to all the furries out there. So for those that don't know, furries is a community. They wear tails and they act like animals.
Oh.
I was door dashing one time, and one of the ladies who worked at school said that in their school that she works at, if a kid is a furry, considers themselves as a furry, they don't have to do gym class, but they just have to roll up in a ball by the gym teacher's feet and purr.
Are you telling the
Is that
truth?
true?
No, this is
Sometimes I don't know with you.
no, this is legitimate. They
Legit.
Purr. Yeah, this is real. It's
Okay.
a real not
I mean, I know what you're
organization.
talking about
Mhm.
now, but I didn't know
Right.
about the kid getting out of pee.
No, yeah.
Oh, great.
So very
Learn something new.
right. So here we go, furries. Furries are like dogs. Wear tails wherever they go. Furries are so strange. Thank you.
Wow.
Now in Japanese, no, I'm just kidding. I wish I knew Japanese.
And yeah, we'd like to
Yeah.
thank Shanna for joining
Shanna,
Oh, is that
us.
it?
That's
And
it, girl.
that's it.
Wow.
So thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
And with that being
good.
said, we love you guys. Until next time, toodles.
Bye.
Bye.
Decoration. We are transformation. Transformation. In the beginning was a garden.
This is Garden Studios. Welcome home.